For centuries, capitalists ruled the world. They crafted a dystopian hellscape and commodified everything. Life, democracy, even the planet. Facing extinction, a rebel group emerged to challenge the capitalists. The online left, a group of deviants, Zoomers, and millennial misfits devoted to shitposting their way to a better world, one tweet at a time. Will they put aside their hatred of one another to defeat their capitalist common enemy? Find out now on Dystopian Times.
Witness destruction of everything that you known. While others chase the elite, we stand alone. Dark days coming, regardless, we never running. People still suffering, and everybody's wondering who's gonna lead the charge, who's gonna be the choice. Rooted from the bottom so the underdog can have a voice. Foundation, based in reality. Power to the people, people power, not a fallacy. Call it what you want it, but I know you hear us coming. Eyes wide open, cause you see we're on to something. The future on the line. We're here to redefine. Political powers recognize these dystopian times.
Folks, welcome to the third episode of Dystopian Times. I literally almost ended the broadcast right here, so I'm very glad that I didn't click the wrong button here to bring myself back on camera. I want to say that this is actually an unprecedented episode because this is the very first time that I am actually on time. So, I mean, all around, good vibes. But folks, without further ado, we have some really incredible guests tonight. Both of them are hilarious. They'll make you laugh. They're lovable. So without further ado, I'm going to bring them on. The first one is, I have a little bit of an intro queued up, so let's see if I can get this, working. Okay, folks, not the smoothest transition on my part, but you know who it is. It is Lauren Ashcraft, host of Biting Commentary. Lauren, thank you so much for coming on.
It's so great to be here, guys. Thank you, Mike. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I love your intro, by the way.
I love yours.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you so much. We all actually have really great intros because the next guest also has an incredible intro. I'm sure that you've all seen it. So let me go ahead and share that with you. Give me 1 second, folks. I am a boomer, and technology is not necessarily my forte, but here we are. Okay, let me hang on, I'm stuck. Okay, hang on. All right. Folks, it's Vadim.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? That was a really great close up there of my face that you froze on. Yeah, I'm Vadim, also known as Hey It's Vadim, formerly Creationist Cat. Also, I go by the unfortunate acronym of HIV. And I was already committed to Hey It's Vadim by the time I realized that. But yeah, I make comedic video essays on YouTube, which you guys should check out. And I just want to say thanks to both Mike for having me on and Lauren for being here. It should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm really, really excited. You both are incredibly lovely people. Of course, you already know that I feel that way. Let me bring back the logo here. So before we start talking about politics and whatnot, I just want to have some quick programming notes here. I haven't watched this yet, but I really want to plug this great series by The Real Progressives. So this is the second episode of season 2 of the Pecora Files. It's about the housing crisis. Last week, I watched it on our Twitch stream. And you all really, really thought it was good. Like, I can't say it was enjoyable because it was absolutely gut-wrenching, but really, really important. I haven't seen this yet. Hopefully, we'll get to some of this tomorrow on our Twitch stream. But folks, also next week, I will not be doing the Dystopian Times because I decided to take the week off for my birthday. Not going to do anything. Not going to go anywhere. I'm probably just going to play The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. I think that comes out next week, right? I hope so. But if it does, I'm gonna play it. So
You
No
What
deserve
a
sugar.
it.
wonderful
And
way to
happy
spend your
birthday.
birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
thank you so much. It's sometime this weekend. Whenever the 18th is. So I'm just going to be lazy for the rest of the week. So yeah, no live shows next week. Although I am kind of like pre-recording a bunch of content like extra so I can still continue to feed the algorithm. You both know how that is.
Oh yeah.
If you don't feed the algorithm, you know, the YouTube gods will punish you for a very long time. So I'm doing that. All right, folks. So yeah, so we're going to start off with a very heavy topic. And of course, that is climate change. Not necessarily the easiest subject to talk about, especially lately, but we do have some really good palate cleansers, I think, later on, including the return of our pet picture segment. So this is from CNN's Ana Cabrera. She tweets out, California officials tell CNN they anticipate nearly all salmon in the Sacramento River will die due to abnormally hot underwater conditions as heat waves continue. Now, if that wasn't bad enough, the Amazon rainforest no longer is a carbon sink as it now emits more than it takes in. So parts of the Amazon are now emitting carbon rather than absorbing it, scientists say. Now, I just want to remind everyone that the Amazon rainforest is oftentimes referred to as the Earth's lungs. And to know that our lungs, they're not doing what they should be doing. I mean, it's catastrophic, to put it frankly. So we're only going to read a little bit from this article, but I just want to let you get a sense of how pressing this matter is. So parts of the Amazon rainforest's reduced capability to absorb carbon emissions could contribute to global warming in the future, according to a new study. Deforestation of the Amazon and rapid local warming in some of its parts have decreased or eliminated the rainforest's role as a carbon sink, a place that absorbs more carbon than it releases. Professor Luciana Gatti and her colleagues have collected air samples from 4 regions of the Amazon roughly twice a month over the span of 9 years to measure the tropical forest's atmosphere. The scientists from Brazil's National Institute for Space Research analyzed the data to determine how carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide are concentrated in different parts of the Amazon. The air samples were compared with those from the South Atlantic Ocean, which has been found to absorb as much as 75% of the excess heat and 40% of human-generated carbon dioxide (CO2) emissions taken up by the oceans. The scientists also used the CO2 concentration gradients to estimate how much the carbon emissions increased or decreased in connection to vegetation growth, decay, and forest fires. Millions of trees have been lost to logging and fires in recent years. An unprecedented number of fires happened in the Amazon in 2019 and 2020, which reduced swaths of the forest to scorched earth. Now, the individual who accelerated this process, I just want to offer thoughts and prayers to this person who privatized the rainforest, Jair Bolsonaro, president of Brazil, who currently is in the hospital for hiccups. I'm not sure if you all have had hiccups that badly, but
he had them for like 10 days, right? Or currently it's a 10-day hiccup fit. I couldn't have happened to a better guy. I'd rather it be cancer. But sorry. No, not sorry.
Or spontaneous combustion.
Yes.
His lungs just combusted.
That just gets it. Actually, I was actually literally thinking like, what's it going to take people for a genuine action on climate? And I realized I truly think that the only way we're going to get it is if rich white men's genitals just start spontaneously combusting. Like something like that is going to be the only way, because pretty much any other thing they can stock up on like enough reserves for 5 decades and hang out in their air conditioned underground bunker. But if their dick's in danger of being on fire, then they have problems, and we might. That just keep your fingers crossed that starts happening.
I kind of love that.
I was always one of these people that's like, you can't wish bad things on other people. Like, I don't believe in karma, but I mean, just you put in the universe, or you get what out of the universe what you put into it. So I always try to like avoid that. But honestly, like with people like Jair Bolsonaro who are literally killing the planet, it's like, good luck, man. Good luck.
Isn't it kind of self-defense at some point?
I feel like you can make that case, right? Like, I don't feel bad that he has a really bad case of the hiccups, which obviously this is probably something that is a bigger issue, right? He might need surgery, but it's just like, you fucked up the planet, so I don't care if hiccups fuck you up. And
Yeah,
that sounds weird saying.
Let's be honest. That might be what, like, on the totem pole of horrible things he's done in his life. That might be somewhere in the middle. Like he's just there's no shortage of horrible things that this man has said and done. And yeah, so I'm all for the dude spontaneously combusting. I think it would solve a lot of problems.
Yeah,
But
whoever thought that hiccups would be one of the great protectors of the environment, because so long as he's not there to implement these terrible policies, then hopefully we'll all be better off. I do have one more story with regard to climate change. So in the Pacific Northwest, we just experienced a terrible heat wave, unprecedented. It was 113 degrees, I want to say, maybe 115 degrees. I have never in my life experienced that. I mean, in the Pacific Northwest, we're not used to this at all. Going outside, it felt like the air was getting sucked out of your lungs. All of my mom's bushes were like burned. It looked like they were hit with a torch. But now we're kind of learning about how bad that was. And unsurprisingly, it was really bad. So climate change is fueling mass casualty heat waves. Here's why experts say we don't view them as crises. Wait, did I read that right? Say we don't view them as crises. Yeah.
Right.
So the Pacific Northwest heat wave in late June was a mass casualty event. And that sounds so weird saying, to live through that. I mean, thankfully, I'm fortunate to not be without air conditioner and whatnot. It's comfortable. I didn't really have to leave home except for a couple of times, but to know how many people were suffering, and I was just kind of like kicking back playing video games. It's a little bit haunting, but nonetheless, it was a mass casualty event. Hundreds of people likely died in the multi-day record-breaking heat, and the death toll continues to rise. Officials are still investigating the cause of dozens of deaths that occurred during that time, but at least 83 people died from heat-related illness in Oregon, 54 of which were in Multnomah County, which includes Portland. Many of those people were older, living alone, and without functioning air conditioning, according to a preliminary report on excessive heat deaths released by the county Tuesday. Before this report came out, I actually learned about this, that people in old homes were basically literally being cooked to death, and they had nobody to talk to reach out to. And some patients weren't necessarily cognitively able to ask for help or dial 911. So, when I think about this, this is like the beginning of what I think is going to be real climate catastrophe. Not to get too doomery, but it's just like we're all really at this point to where we can no longer talk about how climate change is coming. The effects of climate change are here, and it's really, really, it's pressing. And already in the Pacific Northwest, there are wildfires starting. And last year in 2020, when I took a week off for my wedding anniversary, the air quality got so bad that I believe it got to it was past what they determined like hazardous. I'm trying to remember the numbers. I forgot about the system. I had the numbers of the air quality index like memorized and burned into my brain, but you can smell smoke like through your home. And so I just want to I'll pass this off to the panel because there's not necessarily much that I can take away from this other than we're doomed. And hopefully you all are a little bit more optimistic or have some words of encouragement, but talk me down from the ledge because I feel like I've taken the black pill.
I'm on the ledge with you. Unfortunately, I think, we see this. It's climate change and all these disasters right in front of our eyes, and everyone's like, "Oh, I don't know what I can do about it." And same thing with gun violence. We're like, "Oh, I don't know what we can do to stop all this." And people are dying because they're afraid to go to the hospital. Because they don't want to end up with a lifetime worth of medical debt, and our politicians are like, I don't know what we can do about this. So these are unsolvable problems, and I'm just sitting here I tried to run for Congress and change some stuff, but sometimes I feel really helpless because you're just sitting here watching it happen, and we're millennials / Gen X, and it's we're living in these times where we can watch this all unfold with our own eyes. And I don't know what it's going to be like for people the age of our hypothetical children.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to be left.
Yeah. Yeah.
A few weeks ago when I started reading these stories of people being cooked alive or just dying from heat strokes and whatnot, I had a thought, which was, like basically like, oh great, now not only do we need like universal healthcare, but we need universal air conditioning. Like air conditioning, we're getting to the point where that's going to need to be right. And I actually tweeted it out, like some version of that. It's probably worded in a joke, but somebody, some brainy, so it is a lot smarter than I am, like basically responded to my tweet saying like, yeah, it's a great thought, but actually, that would probably actually accelerate global warming, especially in like city environments. And he like showed me like some papers on it, and I was like, oh no, there's no escape, air conditioning or not. So like there, I don't know. Yeah, I guess I'd love to be able to talk you off the ledge, but yeah, I think we're all there, and just I don't know. Hopefully, there's like a dumpster filled with chicken feathers that we'll fall into when we trip off.
Yeah, and we've been talking about climate change on Dystopian Times because I mean it's one of the most dystopian things. We're living through it right now, and it's only going to get worse. And one thing that I liked from a previous panelist like Dylan Burns is he said, here's the thing about climate change. We don't necessarily know what the outcome is going to be, and I'm paraphrasing, but as long as we go down fighting, if we go down, then that's the best that we can do and hope for. Yeah. And I mean, we can't, like, I try not to be too down on myself. Like, I try to eat less meat. I try to not drive as much. But at the individual level, we're not really going to make a difference. I mean, what this comes down to is just a few corporations who are responsible for the overwhelming majority of greenhouse gas emissions. And what's really frustrating to me is we see the negotiations with regard to infrastructure, and climate change is consistently on the chopping block. And, we're hearing from Joe Manchin, who's talking about how, he's really nervous about the excess in this bill and how there's no way to pay for it. And I mean, when it comes down to it, like if people are getting cooked alive, why are we having this? There's no debate.
It's not just that. I mean, like the building that fell in Miami, and
right.
then there was a neighboring. I can't imagine what it would be like to live in the building that was like directly next to it, and just be like especially if you have no money and you're like. The entire building next to you has just fallen. Like, it just what a circumstance to be in. But I mean, I just think we're inevitably going to. I think that like we're going to look back on that and be like, oh, okay, yeah. Like, I mean, there's going to be like 50 more occurrences like that or more, and that might be sort of like I don't know, just a I don't know what you'd call it, just a day that just everyone refers to as like, oh yeah, that was the first time that happened. And it just, I guess the last thing I'll say is just these sorts of stories. I mean, some of these things are things that I guess we could foresee occurring, but some of them don't occur. Like you don't imagine that salmon are going to get cooked alive in a river. You don't think of that. So it's just like there are all these dominoes that topple that just we never see coming. Like, oh, okay, climate change is going to turn squirrels into kaiju-sized carnivores that eat humans. Okay, all right. I mean, you know what I'm saying. And,
yeah.
And it's like, okay, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, that's just it. That's what really makes it so daunting. It's because this is a wicked issue where it has a ripple effect, right? I mean, we're not just talking about the global temperature increasing, the impact that this has on the ocean acidification, desertification, the impact that that'll have on food, on people's lives, where we'll see mass migration, wars over water. It's just like, for me as a political commentator who tries to talk about climate change a lot, I don't know what to say, because I feel like responsibly I would present you with the facts and the details, and then I'd say, okay, this is the call to action, this is what you can do. But at the same time, I think that I'm in this phase where I'm just accepting the inevitable and trying to work with it. Like I've moved on from just talking about climate change mitigation, and now we're in the stage of now it's time to also talk about adaptation, because it's here. It's no longer like a theory or in the distant future. I mean, when people are getting cooked alive, like where I live, it's so, it really puts it in a different light in your head, and it kind of messes with you. Like it feels like we're in those apocalyptic movies. And now, like in the last couple of years, is the first time I feel like I've actually grappled with it, and it's a little, it fucks with your head.
We're in the apocalyptic movie, but we're like in like the first 15 seconds of it. You know,
that's true.
like,
That is true.
Like the title, like we just haven't reached the like the oh shit point.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, you know, kind of like the scientist kind of realizes, oh, that iceberg just cracked. You know, kind of moment, because it just, I mean, that's, hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully but that's the way it seems. And I don't know. I think an interesting thing about it, and it's also depressing, morbid, like all of this is, but seeing the transition. I mean, of course, you have lots of climate change deniers, but you're slowly starting to see the kind of ways in which conservatives, and I guess maybe some centrists, are dealing with it, from pivoting from, oh, it's not happening, to things like, oh, we can't do anything about it. Oh, it's China's fault. You know, just a whole bunch of whataboutisms and just pointing the fingers at other things, and not accepting that maybe we could do something about it.
You know what else just really gets to me is I feel like, you know, people, like the government, corporations, they keep pretty much saying like it's on us. Like, oh, recycle. Like, yeah, definitely recycle. I recycle everything. And this is like a 5-year-old Gatorade water bottle that I still use. But it's, you know, it's just like, I was visiting my family in rural Pennsylvania this past week. And you have to drive your recyclables 30 minutes to the nearest like recyclable pickup center. And like my grandma saves all her shit in her garage and then takes like a truckload of shit. And that's because she cares. And I'm really proud of her for doing that. But this pollution and global warming and climate change are predominantly caused by like 5 corporations plus the US military. And we can't change that. So
yeah,
that's where I am.
That's where I think the hopelessness comes in, right? Because even if like, and this is where I need to not even like think about it in these terms, but if we did everything we need to do right now, still, last week on the program, actually, I talked about how there was some scientists who are saying, you know what, we already passed the tipping point. There's multiple tipping points, of course, but I mean, it's like the shitstorm's coming, and it's just a matter of like how big do we want the shitstorm to be, and accepting that there will be a shitstorm and it's here is part of almost like the grieving process for the planet. But ultimately, you know, if I can like extract some optimism out of this story, I mean, I'm folks, I'm really grasping, so bear with me. It's that I do think that humanity ultimately will survive, but it's going to be a really, really dark period, and the worst of which probably none of us are alive to see, but we're going to start to see shit hit the fan. But, you know, when all of us are, you know, in our golden years, which is what they call it when you're older, when you're retired, and you should theoretically be traveling and whatnot, you know, we may see our grandchildren drafted to fight in wars over water. So, you know, okay, I tried to be optimistic, and then I go right back to doomers. I'm so sorry.
And everyone's dicks are falling off.
Yeah.
White
okay.
men.
Yeah. Well, only them. Straight white men. So I would be exempt from that too. Okay.
I get the short end of the stick.
Yeah, so I'm so sorry, Vadim.
It's all right.
You gotta take one for the team.
Exactly.
So this story
that I gotta swallow it.
Okay, so I just want to go to the chat real quick. Idle Chatter says, I ate Mike Figueredo. Factually incorrect. I'm right here. You did not eat me. Swing response saying, LOL, what? So I've got a really short story. So I've talked about Cuba on my channel, and I don't want to get into the specifics here, but to give you a little bit of background. So the Miami mayor, I mean, the Chiron says it all, thinks that the United States should consider bombing Cuba because that's definitely going to help Cubans that they definitely care so much about. But just watch what happens. So they're going to cut to another guest, and this individual is literally salivating over the thought of war. Let's see if the viewers and my panelists can guess who it is before this individual comes on screen.
A variety of other options that can be discussed.
Yeah.
Here with reaction, South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham, Senator.
A variety.
Folks, he's so thirsty for war. As they talked about war, look at that. I mean, the thought of war to him is just something that is so it's beautiful to him. Is there anybody more sick and perverted than Lindsey Graham when it comes to like just loving
Lindsey
war?
Graham, Senator.
Well, you know, it's actually funny that you bring that up because speaking of Lindsey Graham and war, he had I'm just going to read from this because I think this is hilarious. He had a Twitter thread that was all about Chick-fil-A, right? Oh, and like the last tweet in this thread reads, "I want everyone in South Carolina and across America to know that I have Chick-fil-A's back. I hope we don't have to, but I will go to war for the principles of Chick-fil-A that Chick-fil-A stands for. Great food, great service, great values. God bless Chick-fil-A." Yeah.
Wow. Well,
yeah.
And to be clear, when he says I will go to war for Chick-fil-A, he literally means he will go to war. He will drop bombs in the United States of America on our territory to save Chick-fil-A. And the thought of war, I mean, this is what happens. I mean, I wish I had a soundboard so I can like throw over some sound effects. People in the chat are getting grossed out. I'm so sorry you have to deal with this because I saw it. So now this image is going to be burned into your brains as well. You are very welcome.
What even is that? Why? What? Like what? Is he drooling and cleaning it up with his tongue?
I mean, that's the thing. So I don't think he realized that the camera cut to him and he was probably prepping and maybe he had like dry lips. So he's like, okay, I'm going to make my case for bombing Cuba as well. But like, as this mayor is describing it, he's getting all like hot and bothered because he's like, oh my God, the thought of like bombing Cuba and all this death and destruction. I can't not get excited over it. Like this man is literally a pervert.
On a serious note, though, it blows my mind. I did not hear this about this particular not the licking. That's disgusting and horrible in itself. But the mayor talking about, I mean, Miami has such a large Cuban population, and you would think that in itself would prohibit him from just keep him from talking about bombing it because I know the Cuban population in Florida is actually like pretty like right wing, but I somehow doubt they want to see Cuba actually like blown off the planet.
Right. Is that not like inherently psychopathic? Like I think about like all of us on the left, we were speaking out when Israel was doing their bombing campaign in Palestine. We cared about the Palestinian people. Can you imagine like proposing the solution? We need to bomb Palestine to save Palestine. Like it's absurd. Like I don't know how else to describe it as these are just a bunch of sociopaths that got elected to government at all levels. And the thought of war is literally arousing to them, as we see here. And oh my God, I'm actually getting physically like nauseous as I watch. I need to stop. I'm so sorry to the chat.
It hurts. It burns my retinas out of my eyes.
So I didn't like I wasn't planning to talk about this, but I saw it right before coming on, and I'm like, oh no, I'm grossed out. So now everyone else is going to be grossed out as well. And while we're talking about things that are absolutely disgusting, great segue by the way, I want to turn you to Nick Fuentes. So this is a little bit old, but I'm fascinated with this clip. The chat is saying stop. I'm sorry, we're going to keep going. So just to give you some background on Nick Fuentes, he is perhaps the world's first booger-eating Nazi.
No.
And I've brought the receipts.
We're not to the fans. It's okay.
No.
And
Nope.
yep, nom.
Literally
Why?
ate a booger during a live stream. Listen, folks, For whatever reason I did that, I wouldn't stream ever again. Sorry, Vadim, go ahead.
No, it's okay. I was just wondering if you've ever seen his defense of this moment. He has this hysterical. Actually, I tweeted it out like a side by side comparison. It's a lot like JFK with the magic bullet. But he basically like he did this whole thing where he was like, you can clearly see that I go in this way, and you can't pick your nose that way. And like it was. And if you look at the side by side comparison, I mean, this has not been photoshopped. This is not a. It just speaks for it. It speaks for itself.
He's really, really eating his own boogers live.
Literally. And look, I'm so self-conscious that if I scratched my nose, I immediately wouldn't touch my mouth afterwards because I wouldn't want people to even think that I was eating boogers. I mean, as an adult, like I just look, I'm disgusted by Nick Fuentes. However, he gave us the memes this week. Vadim.
I was just going to say real quickly, not only that, he had a sudden nosebleed on air once. So yes, it's out there. And so I just think that I think this nose picking thing is more than a problem for him. So
oh my God.
Digging a little bit too hard.
Yep.
How did I not know about the nosebleed? I'm literally getting queasy.
Or maybe it's like, the hiccups. It's like, whatever deity/deities there are like, fuck these guys. And he's just making like blood shoot out this guy's nose and giving other guys like endless hiccups.
I don't know what's happening to the far right around the world. I have to say I like it, even though it is disgusting and it's grossing me out. I'm so sorry. So the chat is saying, Justin is saying, stop. Okay, I think I can't promise this. I believe that's all of the disgusting content that we're getting to. But all of that was a setup for this. So I know that you all saw this by now. So this is Nick Fuentes' entrance to CPAC. So this is his gang of groypers.
Before you even start it, can I just just keep it paused here? Because no, don't zoom out. Look on the right. I mean, they're like if you look at just
this guy?
I paused it. that guy, the guy next to him who's sort of out of frame. Really, if you look at a bunch of these people, I'm positive that at least 20% of them have not hit puberty yet. Possibly including Nick Fuentes. But I just want to say, I think that maybe there should be a law in place that you should have at least 4 pubes before you're allowed to hang out with like a hate group. But anyway, go ahead. Let's bring the torture on.
Okay, folks. I present to you the master race, folks.
Let's flip and go. Groypers are in the building. Yeah.
Okay, I just want to pause it here. Let's flip and go really stood out to me, and just to kind of like change it up a bit. So let's role play here. POV, you're a mom, you're in your 40s, and you just called your son and you said, "Look, we're having mac and cheese for dinner. Bring all your friends." This is the reaction.
Wow.
That I have to analyze a little bit further. That right there, when it's like, yeah, mom made spaghetti. And furthermore, like I just have to. This has to be a 10-year-old. Like there's no way. I mean, as you were saying, Vadim, like there's no way this individual has even passed puberty yet. Like these are really young people, and this is like the master race. I mean,
terrifying.
Yeah,
they're not sending their best.
They're not sending their best,
but they're sending their youngest.
If a group that looked like this walked into a bar, I would cover my drinks.
Yeah. But see, the thing is, they're not even eligible to go to bars because there's no way they're even like.
If they entered with their mothers, I would cover my drinks.
Like if I were still working at Walmart and they came in to purchase an M-rated game, I would ask either to see their ID or have their mom come with them to buy it because they all look super young. And when I think about Nazis, I think about like this really intimidating, like scary group of people. But this is like, these are children. It's crazy. It's crazy to me.
It's like these kids and the tiki torches in Charlottesville, and it's like they're both scary and also like pathetic.
Mm-hmm.
And you like almost kind of feel bad and want to offer them therapy just because it's so pathetic. But then you realize that they're fucking Nazis.
That's the thing. It's like, on one hand, and I'm torn, I want to bully them. Like, these are kids who are terrible. But on another hand, they're young, and I truly hope that they're going to look back at this moment and cringe, because when I was young, I mean, I wasn't a Nazi, but I had a lot of bad takes. I was raised evangelical, raised in the church, very Christian, and I look back and I think, wow, it's weird. It's hard to believe that I held all of those views. So I'd like to think that these individuals are going to change too.
Yeah, it's just so it looks like a scene from the worst '80s sex comedy ever. Like all those like screwballs and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm like more of a boomer than I look, probably. So I remember I remember those. Maybe the Zoomers don't, but yeah, just I have to wonder if some of these guys with the Hawaiian shirts, because there's more of them than just the ones we see here, if it's a Boogaloo Boys, like a Graper Boogaloo Boy conglomeration that we have here, it's just a lot of sadness.
See, I can't even take that name seriously, like Boogaloo Boys. I can't.
Right.
It's like funny and sad at the same time.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit pissed, or a lot pissed, I should say, that they ruined Hawaiian shirts. Like, I have Hawaiian shirts that I really like. My family's all from Hawaii, so it's like it's been in my life forever. And now whenever I wear it, I think, is somebody going to think I'm a Boogaloo Boy? Like, it's a little bit, it makes me self-conscious. And these fuckheads ruined it. Not these in particular. Well, this guy, perhaps. Or I should say this young man who's like 12 probably. But, it's a little bit frustrating. But let's go ahead and watch a little bit more of this, because they then go on to harass a salon reporter.
I just want to say real quickly, like, I agree with you. The Hawaiian shirts thing is a tragedy, but they can keep the wraparound Oakley sunglasses. Like, that is just a nasty look. So I do not care that they have appropriated that.
I would actually agree with that. Although now that you mentioned that, I think that the company, they did something. I don't know if they issued a cease and desist. I might be misremembering that, but they don't like that their sunglasses are associated with Nazis. I mean, who would have thought that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
we have to bring Hawaiian shirts back. Like, all three of us need to just only wear Hawaiian shirts from now on.
Reclaim the Hawaiian shirt.
Yes.
The same thing, we did it with Pepe. We took the word based. Just keep appropriating their culture so they have nothing. That's what I think we should do.
Yes.
Let's go!
Oh no.
It
keeps going.
Yeah, it goes for a while. There's like minutes and minutes of them just marching. I'm reminded of just an amazing tweet that I once read to Nick Fuentes. He posted some dumb shit like he always did when he had a Twitter. That's one silver lining in all of this. He no longer has a Twitter account.
Right. He was
yes, yeeted. But yeah, somebody like wrote to him something to the effect of, Nick, I'm doing a paper on men who have never been able to touch or stimulate a woman. Can I interview you? It was something. It was a little funnier than that. I'm paraphrasing it poorly, but we have an entire gang of people who could be interviewed for that paper.
I just like I didn't even try to do this. I paused it on this point. I mean, folks, these are Nazis. Like, it's insane to me. They're such fucking goobers.
I like a young Larry Hagman on the again. I'm a boomer, so no one's gonna get these references. But yeah, that totally looks like Larry Hagman in Dallas. It's basically like his style right there.
Yeah. I think there was Okay, here we go. It's the second video where he actually does harass. Oh, here we go. So this is him harassing the salon reporter, and the salon reporter actually looks genuinely intimidated. I mean, I can't say what I would do. I'm very conflict averse, but if a crowd approached me of like kids like this, I mean, I feel like I would have the instinct to like put one of them in a headlock and give them a fucking noogie or something.
Sure.
Let me
a noogie.
Right. I mean, that's what you do.
I'm not for bullying, but all of these people deserve to be just crunched into lockers. They deserve mega wedgies. I believe they called them leghorns. I don't know why when I was a kid, but anyway, go on.
Okay, so we'll watch a little bit of the there's not much substance here, folks, but I'm just amused by this. Chad, if you're wondering, but yeah, massive wedgie. Who said that? There we go. Collage says, yeah, massive, absolutely. Okay, let's watch a little bit of them harassing a salon reporter.
Oh boy.
Excuse me. This guy from
Are they drinking Red Bulls?
far left.
Red Bull or Monster?
There's a lot of CPAC, but not Nick Fuentes. But America First conservatives like Nick Fuentes are not. Come back here. We're not. You don't sound like that. Why is your voice? Why are you so squeaky? You told your supporters. Destroy their phones. Why do you sound like that? Bitcoin? Where's your gin, bro? Bitcoin come from? It came from France. Yeah, exactly. It came from America First.
Are they just making animal noises? No.
We're not deny that, but why? You're not conservative.
I was gonna say, and this is really uncomfortable to watch because I do feel bad for him because he knows that these are children, but they're also Nazis, and he doesn't know what to do. He engages, and then he immediately regrets it. This reminds me of like a South Park skit of like, you know, the angry mob with the pitchforks, where they're just like screaming, like, "Get his ass!" Like I've watched this clip now. I've watched like other reactions to the clip, and I still don't know what to make of it. It's so bizarre to me.
I see one person of color in the background, and I pray that man just was a bystander in all of this,
right?
Just like walking along and was, you know, not because every now and then, like you find these idiots who you know are either, I don't know, people of color or Jewish, and they like Jesse, what's his name?
Jesse Lee Peterson.
Amazing. Yeah, he had Nick Fuentes on, and they got along famously.
Did he really?
So, yes. And it's just, it's really scary. But I imagine this guy was just like walking along, and he was like, what's going on here? As I'm pretty sure the Colonel Sanders looking Uncle Sam guy with the patriotic top hat in the background is yeah.
I didn't even notice him.
I love that hat.
Wait till you see what it says, Lauren. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know what it says. It's probably like a USA hat, or it looks like one of those like 4th of July hats that you can purchase like at Walmart or something.
Can we bring those back to like Hawaiian shirts, and those hats are now ours?
I'm fine with that. We'll take every single piece of joy that they get. Appropriate
and instead
everything.
of Boogaloo Boys, we are Boogaloo Boys with an I, like boys.
Oh, I like that. Okay. Yeah, I like that a lot. Yeah, it is weird to kind of go back to Vadim's point. The reaction that I saw, or the reaction that, you know, was in response to like Milo Yiannopoulos, not to bring that fuckhead up, but there was like the viral video that was leaked of him doing like a Nazi salute, and it's like, dude, I don't think you understand that if the people who you're with get what they want, they're not going to let you into their white ethno state. You're not going to be included as well. I just, it's soul crushing.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, the alt-right, like as disgusting as the alt-right was when it first kind of metastasized. Am I using that word right?
I think so.
That's what I get for trying to sound intellectual. But my point is that when it first started, it was like this horrible thing. And you thought, oh, it can't get much worse than this. But they were actually, I don't know. I mean, like they weren't hyper religious at that point, or at least not a large portion of them. And now it very predictably has kind of gone to like, you know, the trad cons and shit like that, and it's gotten worse. So it's just like, what's the next shoe to drop on this bullshit? Like
yeah. It always feels like it gets progressively worse. Sorry, go ahead, Lauren.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I'm still stuck on them being kids. Like,
yeah,
I mean, they wouldn't listen to me, I'm guessing, but I just kind of want to pull them aside and be like, kid, like, you can like make friends that are cool and don't want everybody to die.
I mean, it's just, do they not have any? I'm assuming that their parents are also conservative and encourage this and deny the fact that like the America First movement is a Nazi thing. But I mean, still, there's got to be some positive influence in their lives. You know, I feel like I'm not the best role model ever, but I have like, I think 16 nieces and nephews. I lost count. None of them are Nazis. I'm happy to report. Not a single one.
Would you, like, if one of them was starting to show signs of Nazi, would you kind of pull them aside and be like, listen, Jimmy?
Yes, absolutely. Because if they, like, I've kind of been like the cool uncle, but if they fuck up, if they do something bad, then I feel like it is incumbent on me to, you know, approach them and try to educate them. Because, you know, as kids, we all make mistakes and stuff like that. You know, I'm not saying that children are perfect, but like, being a Nazi is a very different thing. Advocating for a white ethno-state and genocide explicitly, not most kids are going to do that. So something went catastrophically wrong with parenting, or perhaps they ended up getting roped in because they don't have friends, and, you know, they found a social clique online, and they, you know, I don't know, maybe they were brought in with memes, edgy jokes that were racist, and they're like, oh, these people are, you know, my people. They say racist things and I think it's funny, and nobody gets us. You know, it's like the what's the name of that board? 4chan, where you know, people get roped in because it's like, oh, we're just making edgy jokes. And then slowly but surely, it's not just jokes anymore. Now they're just like espousing racism. And that's why it was a problem to begin with. But I'm kind of rambling.
I agree with you. Well, I'm glad that you would talk to little Jimmy about it.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Now, I'm so sorry that I have to do this. If we didn't already have enough dumb fucks, we have some more, but this story is a little bit, you know, it's a little bit sweet, right? So QAnon loving pastor running for Congress accused of Satanism by QAnon. I mean, is this not the best headline ever? He's also been accused of child sex trafficking after posting a photo of his own daughter at a campaign event. And I just want to, I want to reiterate that point. This is why they're saying he is a Satanist, because he posted a picture of his daughter on Facebook. So this is what happens when you run in circles with crazy people. If any of the Groyper children who are in that video are watching, when you run around with these people, associate with crazy people, you get crazy outcomes, shockingly. So I want to read a little bit of this story, because this might be my favorite story of the week. So a Tulsa pastor trying to unseat Senator James Lankford, whose campaign has openly embraced QAnon followers, is now denying accusations of Satanism and child sex trafficking leveled at him by QAnon followers. I just like the sentence, denying accusations of Satanism. American politics in 2021, folks. And by the way, James Lankford, the reason why he's running against him is because he's a rhino. He's not far right enough, as if there are any Republicans who aren't far right in Congress. But evangelical pastor Jackson LeMayer, who has in recent months appeared at conspiracy conferences with the likes of Michael Flynn and Lynn Wood, who support a coup, by the way, was forced to deny involvement in child sex trafficking, pedophilia, or devil worship after he posted a picture of his daughter on Facebook, and QAnon supporters interpreted it as a sign of nefarious activity. Jesus Christ.
Devil worship.
Yeah, right. I mean, because if you're going to post a picture of your child on Facebook, which I imagine most people do who have Facebook accounts, you have to assume that they worship the devil. I mean, that's just common sense, is it not, folks?
That's where my mind goes.
Right. I wonder what people think about cat and dog pictures, because I don't really use social media that much, but it's just dog and cat pictures. Does that make me like Lucifer worse? Like, I don't know if there's any relation.
I was going to say, just really quickly go back to that picture of him, because he's of course denying worshiping Satan and being a sex trafficker and whatnot. But I don't know if I believe him. He kind of has that glint in his eye of like, I just drank a gallon of adrenochrome harvested from an Asian baby. I mean, he just has that look. I'm just saying.
That is actually a really good point. If I had to if I had to envision someone who was like a Satan worshiping child, like blood drinker, I mean, he has the face. So perhaps I'm siding. Are we siding more with the QAnon people here, accusing him of Satanism? I think I am.
We have to, yeah. Actually, well, I'm sorry. Is there more that you want to read of the before we kind of dive into it, or
you can dive in? There's a little bit more, and there's a video of him that I'll watch. That I'll play for us. But long story short, I mean, there's not much substance here. He is a QAnon supporter who they've turned on him because he's a devil worshiper, because he posted a picture of his daughter on Facebook.
Well, yes, and the reason supposedly behind it is because she was wearing red shoes. I actually that picture that they showed up there is actually like a close up. She's in front. That's a poster of him, and in the full Instagram post, she's like under. She's like below that, and she's wearing like red Crocs, and she's tiny too. She's probably like 3 or 4 years old. So they think that this is like a satanic message, or this is some sort of message saying like, I order kids and cannibalize them from Pizza Hut, and basically like what I think I've come up with a way to sabotage QAnon, if that's true, if like the red shoe thing is this big thing, because what I did is that I looked up Melania Trump red shoes, and sure enough, there's just pages and pages of her wearing red pumps and red high heels, and that might be the way that we can take them down, but probably not.
Using their own conspiracies against them. That's actually really creative.
I love it.
I mean, the one thing is that like, there are already pictures of Trump hanging out and video of him hanging out with what's his name, Jeffrey Epstein and stuff like that. So they just find a way to like spin it or just ignore it. But yeah,
But that's the whole thing about QAnon is like they have this solid story right in front of them, right in their hands, and they're like, nah.
That's
like
what's
this guy.
Yeah, that's what's so perplexing to me. It's like the big conspiracy is kind of like out in the open. The conspiracy with Jeffrey Epstein hanging out with Donald Trump, and he's been accused by multiple women of sexual harassment, sexual assault, even the R word, which we can't say on YouTube.
I didn't know that.
Well, you're not supposed to, but I'll try to keep it safe, especially also for survivors and whatnot. But it's just you would think that anyone who's really sensitive to these things would stay clear away from Donald Trump, but they've kind of deified him to the point where it doesn't necessarily matter what you bring up about Donald Trump. They've already decided that he is their savior, so they'll work backwards from the conclusion that he's good. I didn't know that though about the shoes being like part of the reasoning. And it's weird how symbolism plays such a large role in all of these conspiracy theories. Like I'm thinking about Illuminati and how when I worked at Blockbuster, dating myself, I'm a boomer too. I remember this guy came in and he was looking at a movie and there was a triangle or something, like a triangle and an eye or something on the movie cover. And the movie might have been about conspiracy theories, but he told me like, oh, I won't watch that. And I'm like, why? And I didn't even know what Illuminati was. And he said, well, that movie is glorifying the Illuminati. And I'm like, what the fuck is the Illuminati? And he like tried to explain it to me. And I'm like, oh, I see. You're that shit fucking crazy.
The whole idea of those things, I mean, like it's just funny to me if you really think about this universe where let's take it seriously for a second, that like, you know, he was like, okay, I've got to buy some red shoes to signal to all my fellow you know, Pizzagate, or I don't know what, members of the Illuminati that you know, I'm one of you. See, here's my kid wearing red Crocs. Fist bump, you know. I mean, I don't know. It's really bizarre that people's minds work this way, that they think that this is how reality is. But you want to play this? Oh, go for it.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I totally you're right in the middle of your sentence. How rude of me.
No. I was going to say, do you want to play the video? But if you have something to say, go for it. All right, I'm sorry, I was done. I was just
going to say, like January 6th, like they had already turned on Mike Pence, who is like their blood leader.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I think about like, if I could just watch this group of like really, really batshit crazy people turn on all of themselves, if I could just fast forward only that to just watch it, I feel like someday it will happen. That like, I don't know, QAnon just like all gets in a room and like they're all wearing red shoes and something really weird happens. But
yeah,
we might not have the planet by then.
No, I think that's probably inevitable, right? I feel like these conspiracy theories, they always, like, it might start out as something, but then it slowly but surely evolves, and then the groups kind of factionalize. Because if I'm not mistaken, QAnon emerged out of Pizzagate to an extent, right? Not entirely. I think it has roots in Pizzagate, and Pizzagate has a lot of the same elements. Not that, you know, these are unusual conspiracy theories because they kind of follow all of the same characteristics. But I mean, there was a lot of symbolism in Pizzagate, and they were going through like the WikiLeaks emails, and they were looking for like these code words that suggest that there was some sort of a ring that was being run out of Comet Ping Pong Pizza. And it was all based off of like, oh, well, this person said this word. They said cheese pizza. So that means that they're part of sex trafficking. It's just, and part of it is, I was reading something on this not too long ago. There's like this sort of, you feel this exhilaration because you have this sense that you're privy to this knowledge that nobody else knows about, and you want to share it with people. That's why conspiracy theories kind of like proselytize, and it's like that dopamine rush that they get. But unfortunately, it's not like looking at I don't know, cat pictures or fucking playing video games. Like, this is something that actually has real world consequences. And now the prevalence of QAnon, it's absurd to me, because at first, I mean, I thought, wow, what a really silly conspiracy theory. And now it's an international theory, which I don't know how big it is internationally now that Trump is out of office, but it's so crazy to me. And I'm fascinated by it. So we'll watch this video, unless either of you wanted to add to it, but this is kind of like him. I don't know if his announcing his campaign or whatnot, but just so we get a sense of who we're dealing with here.
Sure.
A Satanist.
Definitely a Satanist. That I think the QAnon people are spot on.
Our state is full of rhinos, and primary among them is a guy named James Langford. He's a rhino of the highest order. He knows it, I know it, and you know it. And we have to replace James Langford, because if we don't replace him in this election cycle, he's going to be in office like Jim Inhofe for the next 30-something years, because right now, Langford has shown his true colors. We've seen things that most of us intrinsically knew, but he exposed himself because of the last year, 2020.
Notice how he says he exposed himself. Lots of code words. I don't know if I'm reading too much into that. I just got to say, it really stands out to me that like he calls out these Republican rhinos because they're not like to the right enough. Jim Inhofe is literally the guy who brought a snowball on the Senate floor, and he thought that he was disproving climate change.
Guy. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So now, who were the craziest Republicans are now not crazy enough. And so I actually want to raise this question to you both. How long do you think it'll be until we view these people like Marjorie Greene as the more sane Republicans? Because I remember a time where Sarah Palin, where I was like, oh my God, if the entire Republican Party was like her, that would be really terrifying. But now we have a bunch of mini Donald Trumps, and in comparison, Sarah Palin looks normal to Donald Trump or Marjorie Greene. So 10 years, like when do we start thinking that these people are the more normie Republicans, because there's going to be a new lineup of Republicans who are even worse, and they're like shitting themselves and frothing at the mouth. I don't know what to expect next.
Scary. Scary. I also just wanted to say his accent, why does it sound rehearsed?
I noticed that too.
It's like if I would try to sound Southern and like every once in a while I would like slip and be totally like a Northerner again.
It's totally like scripted, and you know that he was fighting the urge so bad to not do like the thumb point as he was talking.
all I think when I see that is just like more smart people need to breed. We just like seriously, because it's a terrifying thing. It's not that out of the realm of possibility that, I don't know, in 2022 and 2024, we could not only get Donald Trump back as a president, but maybe, who knows, maybe we wouldn't get him, but we'd have more QAnon adjacent people in the House of Representatives, maybe even the Senate. I don't know. And then who knows? Oh, and also in other important places in like city governments. And, who knows, maybe there would be this crazy situation where there were people willing to do what the Republicans didn't do this time and say like, no, Trump actually won. And, this was faked, or whatever the hell they say. The voting machines were tampered with. And then what are we going to do? Because not only like, in that situation, they would just say like, if the election act, because that would be actual election fraud. And they just be like, yeah, well, we said the same thing last time. What are you going to? It's just this nightmare scenario in so many different ways when you start thinking about it. I don't want to. Oh God,
I know.
Sorry to put all those nightmares in people's heads. And
I go there mentally sometimes, where I think about these things, where it's like, man, how long will it be until I think, man, do you remember when we thought that QAnon were the craziest in the country? God, if only we were back in those times. Like that's the way we're headed, I feel like.
Seriously though, I was politically conscious. I was young, but I was politically conscious like at the beginning of George Bush's presidency and whatnot. And I remember thinking back then, wow, how much more batshit can the Republican Party get? And the answer is a lot. I mean, I look back at that, and that's like, unfortunately, as horrible as it was, in some ways, the good old days. Of course, the Iraq War is one of the worst mistakes that we've ever made as a country, but still, like, just the crazy was not as pronounced back then as it is now.
Yeah, they were evil, but like they were still grounded in reality, basically. Like George Bush, like, was slaughtering people, and I mean Trump did too, of course. But at the same time, like there were still democratic norms that were respected to an extent, at least. I mean, there were the flaws that already existed in our democracy, the Electoral College and whatnot. But the difference is that like they didn't just like lie. And even though I still think that like probably if you had to compare, Trump is probably preferable to Bush, although it's like, how do you even determine that? But like the lies spread by Donald Trump at CPAC, he literally admitted that he just makes things up. Like he was talking about public opinion polls, and he said, if it's a poll that I don't like, then I say it's fake news. If it's a poll that I like, I say it's one of the most accurate polls we've ever seen. Wow. And his like supporters applauded. And to me, like if Bernie Sanders, like if we saw Bernie Sanders say that, I know all of us would be disgusted, because it's like reality matters. Like noticing what's in front of us is really important. But now to just deny reality, that is like uniquely harmful. So to wrap this story up, I do want to read the response. This is what he posted on Facebook. So
There's one sentence here that's hilarious, but go on.
Okay. So this is in response to the allegations of Satanism. So he writes, the ugly side of politics. Last week, I posted this pic of Eva out on the campaign trail with me, and she was so proud of her red shoes because it matched the colors of the Le Maire for Senate gear. It was a harmless post, but there is an individual out there who has been spreading things about me that are not true, such as I am creation worshiper, a new world order. That threw me off a little bit.
There's two things there. There's like obviously the he left out a or a creation worshiper. But what is what is a creation worshiper? Is that a thing?
Isn't that God? They believe in God. So
I'm gonna look it up right now.
Yeah, because that honestly doesn't sound like Satan creation, unless they believe Satan created the world. But I feel like these evangelicals don't believe that. Also, he was accused of being a New World Order globalist and more nonsensical stuff. A QAnon person is like, oh, you guys are crazy. Imagine that. This person, go ahead.
Just so you know, I just looked up creation worshiper on Google, and literally, I don't see any like I don't see where he got it. He must have maybe, I mean, it's possible that the insane person who accused this insane person of being an insane person called him a creation worshiper and just maybe, but it doesn't seem to be a thing is my point.
I feel like if somebody were a Satanist, I would have a whole lot less problems with them than like I don't really care.
Right. Yeah, you know what though? For him using the word creation worshiper, that tells me that he is a phony, and they were right to accuse him of Satanism because he wants to be cool with the QAnon crowd, but he doesn't even have the lingo. I mean, if all of us who are not part of QAnon could acknowledge that this is like a little bit sus, I think they were right to accuse him of Satanism.
Love it.
This person has also been spreading the narrative that I'm involved in child sex trafficking. I guess red shoes represent pedophilia, according to this individual. I mean, this is your people. This is what you believe, right? I've been in ministry for years, never any accusations whatsoever. Now, all of a sudden, I'm being accused of everything under the sun by one particular woman, and some people don't have enough discernment to determine right from wrong. Unfortunately, I have to say it because people are asking me. I'm in no way involved in child sex trafficking, pedophilia, or devil worship. If you believe that, it actually says more about you than it does me. I love that politicians now are having to speak out against accusations that they worship the devil. That to me is just, I love that element of the story.
I also, like, as somebody who does comms, I have a lot of questions about if he's doing his own messaging, because I would never, ever advise a candidate to be like, I am not a devil worshiper and child sex trafficker. Like, don't start that rumor. You're saying the words now and putting it out there. Like, not everybody thinks that.
That's a great point.
Now they do.
Wasn't there like some Republican who at the time, again, this is like goes back to what you're saying about like we thought they were crazy then, but there was some there was some person who was like running for office, I want to say in like 2015, maybe 2013, 2014, and she was accused of witchcraft, and she actually made a campaign commercial where the first thing she said was, I'm not a witch. And do you remember that? Like
I don't remember that.
It was a thing. I'll look it up right now. Doing all this on the spot investigating.
It looks like Stephanie here in the chat remembers it.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe if I saw it, it would jog my memory because something like that would.
Her name was Christine O'Donnell.
Oh, I remember her.
Yeah, and literally, I'm looking it up, and yes, here's an article. It says, in quotes, "I'm not a witch." Republican candidate Christina O'Donnell tells Delaware voters. So, yeah, that rumor was. That's one good thing about being on the left, at least yet. We don't have so many crazies where, like, if someone like Bernie Sanders was, or just even Joe Manchin was accused of witchcraft, I don't think they'd address it. You know, they are like, maybe they'd make some like offhanded joke, but they wouldn't like, you know, hold a press conference to let everyone know that they weren't a New World Order globalist or a creation worshiper.
I would laugh so hard. I'm actually feeling kind of FOMO that no one accused me of worshiping the devil during my congressional campaign. And if somebody did, I would have laughed so hard and never addressed it.
You wouldn't feel the need to like speak out and hold a press conference. I
No.
feel like I want to astroturf some sort of devil worship accusation against a congressional candidate. You know, I've been accused of being like an establishment shill and even a Russian puppet with a terrorist beard. But nobody's accused me of being a wizard or a witch. And I honestly, like, I have to say that I would think it was cool. And I might just have to own it if somebody said I was a Satan worshiper. Like, I don't believe in Satan. I'm an atheist. But if somebody said you're a Satan worshiper, I'd be like, you're right. Hail Satan. Just because, I mean, what's the harm in it?
I'm going to go ahead and, as the leader of the new Boogaloo Boys with an I, I'm going to go ahead and say that we officially do worship the devil.
Yes.
And we wear Hawaiian shirts and Uncle Sam hats. And everybody's welcome in the club. I'm not even denying it. That's who we are.
Satanism is very based. And the only thing I want to say is in our brand of Satanism, we do not pick our nose and eat it. Yeah, that's the one rule. Like, you know, just cannibalism, sure. Sacrificing kids for adrenochrome, cool, but picking your nose, no, not cool, kid.
Nope.
Oh my
and
gosh.
On that note, can we get some Hail Satans in the chat? We're gonna lose like half the audience if anyone is religious. Can we get some Hail Satans in the chat?
Sorry, guys.
No.
By the way, my YouTube channel isn't quite this disgusting. In case you were worried, check it out.
Can I accuse Mike live on air of being a witch?
You can, and I can respond live.
Mike is a witch.
I accept that.
Mike, douse yourself with a bucket of water now, or you will, prove yourself. But if you've accepted it, then I guess there's no reason.
I'm okay with that. We have quite a bit of Hail Satans in the chat. A couple of people are like, I don't wanna say that. This person is really taking it far. Satan, our Lord Master. Okay, folks, this is getting. I'm so sorry. Like, I'm trying to like bring on other creators and get you all to like follow them as well. But now people are like, Mike's bringing on like Satan worshippers and no. All right, hang on.
Yes, I did disappear. I accidentally unplugged my camera with my hand, and it is absolutely because I'm a witch. I'm sorry.
No, I did that because I'm a witch. Okay, folks. So I am drowning all of us in content of terrible people today, but I promise you, this is the last video of a dipshit that we're gonna watch on the stream, and then it's all downhill from here. It's the good stuff, right? So this is a Newsmax host, and he says something about COVID-19 vaccines that is incredibly dangerous and stupid, so much so that Newsmax had to come out and denounce him for saying what we're about to see right here. Take a look.
You know, I've one thing I've always thought, and maybe you can guide me on this because obviously I'm not a doctor, but when I've always thought about vaccines, and I always think about just nature and the way everything works. And I feel like a vaccination in a weird way is just generally kind of going against nature. Like, I mean, if there is some disease out there, maybe there's just an ebb and flow to life where something's supposed to wipe out a certain amount of people, and that's just kind of the way evolution goes.
I'm sorry, but that argument is so stupid. Human beings are of nature, therefore anything that we do is also an extension of nature. So that argument is just, it's stupid, but I'll let him finish his argument before I just want to rip this apart. Sorry, go ahead, Vicky.
I don't know. I mean, literally, like, wearing clothes is against nature. I mean,
yes.
if you really, and also, I mean, he's got the Matt Gaetz Frankenstein hair going on. There's a lot of product in that hair, and I'm just saying that's not so natural to me.
It looks a little unnatural.
Yeah.
Do you think he wakes up and his hair's like this, all slicked back?
No,
his
I
face
think
is shaved.
I do not. I think it takes like probably half a can of Aquanet to get him. It's Aquanet's still a thing, but I'm just saying there's a lot of unnatural, highly processed things that goes into his hair alone. That's all I'm saying.
And I just have to say, you mentioned Aquanet. I feel like this is one of those dudes who still in 2021 sprays on like half a bottle of Axe body spray, which is totally unnatural. And he uses like the stinkest one, not even like the ones that smell good. This is who we're dealing with, folks. I'm going to assume that that's a fact, that he uses Axe body spray. But okay, I'll let him finish his stupid diatribe.
Vaccines kind of stand in the way of that. Do you follow what I'm saying? Does that make sense to somebody?
No.
Nope.
Well, actually, like I do want to say, like with this particular guy, I feel like I don't know what's happening, but I can't pay attention. Like my brain actually just like filters it for me, and all I hear is like the wah, wah, wah.
He has like anti-charisma.
Yes.
If you watch this in its entirety, I mean, of course they're going to get crazy people to interview on this crazy channel, but just normally if somebody said that to you, you'd be like, what? But this guy is just completely unfazed by the craziness of his argument, and with his sailboat paintings that he stole from Motel 6.
I didn't notice that.
But I don't know if you've noticed this about Newsmax guests. I guess it's because they're all like coming in through like an internet connection, and they're like they interview old people, and they're noobs. They don't know how to deal with technology. But every single guest that's interviewed on Newsmax, well, like 95% of the time, worst audio ever. Like the guy is just like, it sounds like he's just in an echo chamber. I mean, you know what I mean? Not that kind of echo chamber, like a literal one.
Well, yeah, they're in one when it comes to politics, and also when it comes to audio. But yeah, I never like thought about that. But now that I do think about it, yeah, their audio is always terrible. That's interesting. I mean, you'd think that with all the right-wing funding that they get, they'd be able to like send satellites out to the houses of people. Isn't that what Fox News does? So that way they can actually get a good connection. I'm not sure, but yeah. Somebody says, check out the bottom. Let me pull up that comment. Check out the bottom, what it says about AOC. Oh, wrong one. There we go. AOC blames fossil fuel executives for NYC subway flooding.
Oh, no.
As if that's like so preposterous that fossil fuels lead to situations where flooding occurs more frequently. Okay. Take it away, Newsmax people.
And colleagues from Boston and the Mayo Clinic that shows among vaccinated populations, the diversity of different strains is narrowing. So it's going to be fewer numbers of strains. Right now,
he seems like he's being held hostage.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, either he doesn't know what to do with his hands, or they're tied behind his back, and he's forced to say this misinformation.
Being held hostage by the boats.
Yes. They're gonna make him walk the plank if he doesn't repeat this misinformation about vaccines.
Seriously though, I'm sorry, but watching this, I always notice just weird things, and I love how his tie matches that hideous boat picture frame to the left.
Oh yeah.
Like it just I think maybe he just matched, he knew what he was doing there.
Oh yeah.
How ugly is this frame?
It's the ugliest fucking frame I've ever seen in my life. My God.
I mean, holy shit. Like, is it? I don't even know what to make of that. It like hurts my eyes looking at it. It looks like one of those 3D illusions.
He really loves boats.
Yeah, he's really trying to give off like some message. Like maybe there's like some sort of philosophical underpinning to this whole interview, and he's like with the hands behind the back. I mean, we have to think like QAnon supporters do, who definitely tune into Newsmax. So maybe we're missing like the overall message by not really looking into the boat thing.
Is there? I'm gonna look up green boats. Like, they're not green boats, but there's just a lot of green going on, and
it's like aged and like green. Like it looks dirty. Watch, maybe he painted these, and then we're like insulting his artwork. The art is fine.
I don't know. I wouldn't have gone with that shade of green for the water, but other than that, it's fine. I agree with you. The worst thing by far is the frame.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, and it's also like the same picture, just like turned. And it's where's the variety, sir? Dr. Peter McCullough.
Imagine his entire house is just variations of this exact same painting. So that the only type of wall accoutrements he has. I could. This man is a professor at a college of medicine. Jesus
I was just
Christ.
very scared about this. I shouldn't have read that.
Depressing times.
This is depressing for a number of reasons, but the fact that he's in a position of authority and he's like, he has doctor in front of his name and he's going to say really absurd things. It's dystopian.
I wonder if he's this crazy or it's just like, I'm getting Newsmax money, which is probably really only about like $5.25, but I don't know. They don't look like they have a big budget, but you got to wonder with people who actually like, I don't know, studied medicine, if they really believe this shit, or if it's just like, I get to have an incredibly low level of fame.
I mean, yeah, I feel like that fame is like a drug, and they say something a little bit crazy, and then people give them praise for it, and it's like this feedback loop almost. But I will say that, like, to the question of how much he's getting paid, we still haven't necessarily ruled out whether or not he's being held hostage. So I will say that that's a possibility. This could be a perfectly reasonable individual, and behind the screen, somebody's like holding him at gunpoint and demanding that he say this.
I think those boats have machetes behind their backs.
Perhaps. Okay, so
Honestly, I have so many questions, and I actually have a lot of questions for Texas A&M, mostly.
Yeah. Is this somebody who they actually want to employ? I mean, not to be like cancel culture, but if somebody is spreading misinformation about vaccines that's literally deadly on a massive platform, I feel like that person might not necessarily be a good resource.
I probably just also would not have said my job. I would just be like, "Hi, I'm Bob. I don't know very much, but like, I just wanted to come on the show and say that vaccines are bad."
Yeah, somebody in the chat says, is he asleep? Yeah, it's just the frame, but he looks like he's about to fall asleep. Some of these conservatives, like if you tune into like Dennis Prager, they're so bored with the things that they're saying that they almost put themselves to sleep. And I'm sure that this, it's no different for this individual. Okay, with that being said, let's see what he has to say.
For the Alpha variant, and we're about 30% now Delta, which is the Indian variant. They get progressively weaker, but the diversity is changing with vaccination. And I think probably the best way to think about it is vaccines really ought to be targeted to protect the highest risk individuals. A young person like you, if you got COVID, it's very easily treatable. You get through it. And natural immunity for sure is superior.
Not true.
That's you make a good point there. Again, it's like if you've got
no, you don't.
I think it might be worth whatever it is. But if you don't have a risk, I can't comprehend why you would take something. They start learning about the heart inflammation and stuff like that. I just don't understand why it's being pushed so hard on people that are very young, and now they're trying to give it to kids. You saw today, the CDC saying that going back to school in the fall, it looks like if your kid's not vaccinated, they're going to have to wear a mask next year. What are your thoughts on that?
It's good, actually. I'll answer for him. Yeah. So this, I did a story on my show. I don't think it definitely didn't go up yet. But basically, there's a nurse from Louisiana, and she was an anti-vax nurse, and she actually used her social media to, spread misinformation about vaccines and encourage people to not get it. Well, turns out, tragically, she contracted COVID-19 and she passed away. And this is someone who is very, very young. I don't know the age of her, but she's like definitely like within her 30s at most. And so for them to peddle this like bullshit about the vaccine not affecting young people, the newer variants are affecting young people. Like, it is mutating and it's getting worse, contrary to popular belief, what he said. That's not to say that there wouldn't be mutations that aren't weaker, but the ones who become prevalent are the ones that are stronger, because that's the way that it works. It's really frustrating to see this, because like as he makes this point, like how many people are going to take him seriously? How many people are going to say, oh, that's a great point, vaccines are actually unnatural, maybe I shouldn't get the vaccine? It's sad, because even if anti-vaxxers are stupid, to be blunt, I don't want them to die because of their stupidity. Like, stupidity shouldn't be a death sentence. You know, I believe in restorative justice and rehabilitation. So it's sad to know that people might die because of this fuckface right here. I don't know. Does anyone want to add? Is that too doomer? Like, it makes me so depressed.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And it's also very humanist of you to not wish death upon people because you disagree with them. So I really, yeah, it's very cool. I wish everybody was like that.
Although,
yeah.
Disregard the segment when we were talking about climate change, where I did.
You know,
yeah, well, yes, again, self-defense.
That is true.
I don't know. I'm in a really awful situation myself, just to be perfectly frank. And I'll tell you about it in 1 second. So I do not mind that level of like hate towards people who are spreading this information, because basically I'll be for real. And it's horrible, but my mom won't get the shot. She won't get the shot. She buys into all this nonsense. She wasn't always this unreasonable. And my mom usually is not so stubborn with things. I can usually kind of reason with her on certain things, but she just, she's in Florida and she's got a lot of friends who just, it's just this, it's just a shitty situation, and it's so I'm just fuck these people, I do not want them in the universe. So yeah, I don't show them as much compassion, or I don't know, I don't know, it sucks that they are able to have as much influence as they do, and that people are as gullible as they are.
Yeah, I totally think that your feelings are understandable, because it's this has a direct impact on you. These are the types of folks who influence your mom, perhaps not directly, but indirectly. These things circulate, especially on social media. Facebook is such a nightmare for misinformation. For me, I don't go on Facebook that often, but I still see cousins and whatnot posting anti-vax misinformation. And it's a headache, because it's should I engage? Is it a lost cause? And I don't think that I can change someone's mind. One thing that I will offer you in terms of hope is that someone in my family, one of my siblings, was anti-vax, very conservative. However, seeing someone get COVID-19, a serious case of it, he changed his mind, got vaccinated. So sometimes it has to hit really close to home in order to really make a difference. But the thing that worries me is that the nurse I referenced from Louisiana, sometimes it's too late. There's another woman from North Dakota who was an anti-vaxxer, but thankfully she survived, but she contracted a really serious case of COVID-19. And she said, look, I really regret it now, because my life has changed forever. COVID-19, it affects people differently. Some people are perfectly fine. They're asymptomatic. Other people, they have long-term health repercussions that they deal with. So my friend was working in healthcare. She got COVID-19. And the last time I talked to her was I think a month or so ago. And she's still dealing with the long-term COVID. She's a long hauler. And even though she doesn't have COVID-19, the damage that it caused to her lungs, it's still significant. So I want to shake people and wake them up. It's I don't want you, I'm frustrated with you, and I say mean things. I call you stupid and make fun of anti-maskers and anti-vaxxers, but it comes from a place of love, even if I'm doing it in a very dick-headed way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I just have no tolerance for these people. And I agree. It's just, I don't know. It's so frustrating. I used to feel like my mom was someone, and again, there's just a variety of things that that I can kind of talk to her, and if I just kind of makes sense, she'll start getting it. But with this, she's just like, I mean, you're right about Facebook being just this constant faucet of bullshit, because when I say like, well, you actually have, because her whole reason for not getting it is like, well, I don't want to die. I read on Facebook that you, and you know what, I should probably not be talking, because it's like when I think about this, I get too emotional to like really form sentences as well as I usually can. I'm gonna hold it, put it back over to you guys, and excuse my, like, I don't know, my inability to talk for a second. It's just, it really,
no, it's hard. I mean, these are our loved ones.
Yeah.
It gives me a whole like the emotions just kind of start screwing with my brain.
Yeah.
It's
No,
real. It's real.
yeah. I mean, it's so prevalent that we all know at least a couple of people, at least one person who, feels this way. So it's like, when I feel like, when I do videos, like I cover anti-vaxxers a lot. Like I think I recorded like 3 videos just this last week. It's like I'm trying to reach out, and trying to convince people that, this is your life. This is your health. Death is permanent. Getting sick can sometimes not be undone. It's just a matter of really taking precautions to protect yourself and doing everything in your power to make sure that you're not you're not taking unwanted risks. And unfortunately, the perception is that the vaccines are the risk that's unwanted. When it's a long-term thing we're going to be dealing with.
I read an account, I forget, who the person's name was, but it was a nurse who happens to work in a red state. And it's not like there's any shortage of people like this in any of the states. But she was basically saying like, yeah, there was a time, and we still have these cases, but there was a time when, at the height of the whole pandemic, where every day we'd have at least 1 to 4 people who were on death's door, literally on death's door. And they were saying, like, basically until their dying breath, like, oh no, I'm going to be fine. Like, this whole thing, it's not, it's not real. And just all these dumb things that you hear them say. And it's just, yeah, it was just like, wow. It's the, I feel bad saying, like, calling these people stupid because they're dead, but it's just, oh man, like I don't know. I don't know what's to blame. Like if we had a fundamentally different education system, would things be better, or are humans just garbage and some of them are going to believe this stuff? I don't know. I'm sorry.
No, honestly, I'm glad that you're vocalizing all of this, because I've kind of like felt the same way. Like for me, like my main show is called The Humanist Report. And it's always like, look, I have faith in humanity. I believe that we don't need, any religion or anything. We can do this ourselves. I mean, maybe that's a little bit too anthropocentric. I don't care only about human beings, but, I care about the environment and species and whatnot. But I believe human beings, at the end of the day, are good, and we have good intentions. Sometimes we get misguided. But, over the course of the last couple of years, covering politics nonstop, it has rotted my brain. So it's like, I'm re-examining that. Like how good should I feel about humanity? Are we just doomed? Are some of us literally trying to like accelerate our own demise as a species? I mean, maybe that's a little bit hyperbolic, and I go to dark places, but it's really tough. And the one like silver lining is that other people are here to talk about it, like you guys and people in chat. Like they'll chime in and they'll say, yeah, I feel the same way, because these are really dark times, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I was, like I said, back home in Pennsylvania over the past weeks, and met with somebody who is undergoing cancer treatments and doesn't really know if the vaccine is working on her because of all the meds that she's on. And like, I would say, like, if the people who are anti-vax just kind of lived on an island and didn't interact with anybody and didn't expect for like nurses and doctors to take care of them, I would feel like one way. Just go do that to yourselves. That's like a choice that you make. I can't stop you. But if you're going to interact with the public and like kill people like my friends who really are trying everything to stay alive and also fight cancer right now, that's really where my anger comes in too, is like you, and in the same breath you'll say that you're pro-life, but you're okay with killing my friends. Why?
Yeah, what you just brought up reminded me of, every now and then I hear from anti-vaxxers, just from dumb fucks, maybe sometimes famous anti-vaxxers or whatnot. I hear them use the term eugenics, that this is like a eugenics experiment. And really the bizarre thing about it, or the ironic thing, is if you really think about it, I mean, if anyone's doing eugenics here, it's the people who are refusing to get vaccinated and are unintentionally causing more and more deaths to occur, so it's fucked up.
And you were saying, what would help? Was it better education? What is this? And it's like all of it. Like we have to start with not cutting education funding anymore, and in fact actually increasing it. But it's not just that. It's like we allow things like Fox News and whatever the hell that was that you just showed. That's like people's main news source, and they're allowed to call themselves news, and they're actually telling you to kill yourself. And that's what I don't. There's so many steps that we've gone wrong. We have money from lobbies flowing right to our politicians that keep them in office against our wishes. We're not living in a democracy. And where do we start? And that's kind of where I get very overwhelmed. And I ran for Congress because I was like, oh, I have this platform. I'm going to give this a shot. And I'm really proud of how we did and the platform that I ran on and everything. I lost, and that's okay. It's normal. But what do I do? And that's really where I am. Sometimes I'll sit here and then I'm like, fuck it. I'll just write comedy. Sometimes you just feel so helpless. Yeah. That's where I am.
I think a big part of it, I mean, this does kind of fall into the education thing, but specifically media literacy. If people, but it's how do you enact that? One, can you really reach adults? Both because, well, I mean, I suppose you could make some sort of give some money to start putting out information, hey, these are ways to assess media better. But first of all, like I said, I think a lot of people are set in their ways and their kind of mental habits by the time they get old. But then also, that if we tried to do that Republicans would start saying so it's this is the narrative, we're, I mean, they treat it like they do critical race theory and just I don't know, they'd accuse it of being bullshit. So it's I don't even know if we could do that. And now perfect segue.
We didn't get to this yet, and we won't. But just to kind of show you, as we talk about all of these really deep things that really are sucking the souls out of us, you could probably see it on camera, my soul leaving my body as I talk about this. This is what Fox News is focusing on. This is a media matters analysis. And so I was going to read a little bit of that, but I think that it's really nice after talking about these really heavy topics to have a bit of a palate cleanser. And this is why I bring on I talk about stupid shit, and I bring on people who are funny, and we look at dog and cat pictures. So now we'll get a little bit of a mental break. And just know, folks, one thing that's important when we kind of talk about doomer topics is that we do it together, because one way that I've realized that's really healthy to deal with depression, not that this is necessarily the same thing, is that you talk with other people. It's a form of coping. It's a coping mechanism. So I think that that's important, that people don't realize that they're the only ones who are experiencing this existential dread. Other people feel it. And, we're not necessarily proposing solutions, but talking through it in and of itself might be some sort of a spark, or just might make you, feel a little bit better about it. But either way, if that didn't help, we'll cut to some different segments that are more happy. So I've got 2 segments left. The first is our featured content creator of the week. Now, this person, I have never heard of this individual before. So, folks, without further ado, this is our featured content creator of the week, Lauren Ashcraft.
Dystopian times.
Hi everyone, it's Lauren Ashcraft here, and I have an exciting new show called Biting Commentary. I am taste testing food that you guys request that I try live. I've tried vegetarian chicken nuggets. I've tried local businesses, foods in New York City that people would like me to uplift and get the word out about. I try basically anything. So while we're doing that and having fun, I also invite guests on to talk about some pretty heavy subjects that I wish we were talking about more. For example, I had an episode on, is it feasible to plan and organize a general strike? Had some local organizers on to talk about that. Have a Medicare for All episode coming up, talking about the upcoming marches. I just recorded an episode with left flank veterans about divesting from the military-industrial complex. Had an episode about MMT. We had really good conversations with an economics expert on MMT. So I would like to say that I'm curating conversations that I wish we were having more often, while having fun through the art of food and experiencing different cultures together. So definitely, if you would like to see me try something in particular, check out the show, write me a DM, comment. I would love to try it. Try basically anything. But also, more importantly, I would say, is that I would love to keep having these conversations, hard-hitting, important, timely conversations that I wish more people were talking about. And I am a comedian. I've run for Congress, and I was really fortunate enough to have advisors and local experts and community partners that talk to me about these topics that I am trying to share with everybody. So that is really, it's a privilege that I'm trying to share. I just love being able to have these conversations. I watch the comments as they're coming in live, as we're having these conversations live, as I'm taste testing live. And also shout out to Mike, who's inspired me to try my best to create non-toxic spaces for us to learn together in. So thank you for featuring me. I hope you all come to check me out. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers because, fun fact, at 1,000 subscribers, you can start having live auto captioning. And I would like my conversations to be accessible for everybody who would like to join and not have to wait until that captioning is placed on the videos afterwards. So anyway, thank you so much. Biting Commentary, Lauren Ashcraft here. Come have fun, have these conversations. I look forward to it. Thanks again, Mike. Oh my gosh.
That was Lauren Ashcraft. So folks, I just want to reiterate that if you would like to have your channel featured, I've gotten quite a bit of submissions. I've watched like some. I haven't been able to go through it all yet, but email mike@humanistreport.com. And please, please, please remember in the subject line to put in all caps DT_submissions. Basically follow the blueprint that Lauren Ashcraft set. There's no limit, but I try to gravitate towards people who have less than 5,000 subs. Even if you're just starting out, that's fine. If you don't have a lot of content, I'm probably not really going to choose you. I want to make sure that you kind of get going. I don't want you to get your start because of this show. Rather, I want to highlight good content creators that are just trying to make it in an environment that's really, really tough to thrive currently. So, Lauren, thank you so much. One more time, it's Biden Commentary. Everybody check it out.
Thank you. So you see, everybody should just know. I mean, you already know this because you're tuned in, but Mike is so generous to leftists and grassroots candidates and small content creators like myself. So I really appreciate that. Thank you.
For sure.
Yeah.
it's a nice learning process for me too. Like I always try to stay in the loop with all like the latest and greatest creators and whatnot. And I'm currently like overwhelmed because I joined the Twitch side and there's like a million leftist content creators there. So like I discover a new one every single week, and they're just insanely talented. So it's I just feel like we all are better if we help each other. I believe in trickle down views in the context of like YouTube and whatnot. But folks, we have the this is really a favorite of the viewers. I already forgot the name of the segment, but here we go, folks. That's what it is. Let's pretend like the world isn't ending for a minute by distracting ourselves with cute dog and cat pictures. It's a mouthful, folks. Give me time.
I'm down. You know, you could always tell like when on my timeline on Twitter, like when I'm like on the edge of a nervous breakdown, because what I'll do is like when Twitter just gets me so nervous, I'll just like go through my timeline and I'll be like, okay, where are some cute pictures of dogs, cats, and capoeiras that I can retweet? Because I need something that makes me not want to have a nervous breakdown on my timeline. Anyway, go ahead.
I'm glad that you made that point, because it genuinely helps me. Like if I am feeling anxiety and I'm just really stressed out, honestly, like looking at cat and dog pictures legitimately will help me. And before we even start, we have Cortez behind Vadim there.
He's been very like, I don't know, just he's been sleeping the entire time.
He's chill.
Yeah, he is chill. I guess, you know, since it's that part of the show.
Oh,
I think it's,
Cortez.
there we go.
Oh,
Now I have to have my partner bring my cat.
yes.
I'm so sorry. He
Bring
looks
in the
so
Lauren
tired.
cat.
Bring me
Lauren
cat.
Ash cat.
Oh, she's meowing. You guys are gonna meet Queenie. Oh,
Can't
look
wait.
at this. Look at this.
Oh.
Look at this
Ooh.
kitten.
Wow.
That looks a lot like I have another kitty named Wizard. We have got a lot of cats in this house, but oh yeah.
This is Queenie.
Hi, Queenie.
She's very feisty. She's 9 months old.
Oh, that's a
And-
fun age.
Yeah, she's
That's
old enough to like not, do. She stopped biting me, which is great. I think we've kind of weaned her off of just chomping out of my leg, but now she's kind of playful.
My cat she's now 4 years old, so she's she's still pretty frisky, but now she's to the age where it's like when she knows that I'm gonna get her special food in the morning, she'll like slap me and she'll be like, "Hurry up, fucker!"
That's so funny.
Well, yeah, okay, so I don't even know. Whenever I ask for pet pics, I get a lot. So the first individual, shout out to Greg T, who initiated the segment. Mike, you know what you must do. This is his child. This is such a great picture, by the way. I absolutely love this.
Is that zoomed in, or like if you clicked on it, would it be a different aspect ratio? So
I love it.
There we go.
All right.
Okay.
I want to get the whole experience.
Yeah. Okay. So he's lying down. Okay.
That's a great picture.
That is. I really like that, actually. I submitted a submission as well. So this is actually the set that I'm in right now. Actually, I don't know. It might be easier if I just close it out. But this is the set for Dystopian Times. And last night, when my husband was editing, he came in here and he jumped up on this chair and he said, "I'm the new host." So he'll be taking over next Wednesday at 6 p.m. PST, folks. And he is a really good boy. He's on my Twitch streams every week. I have a dog cam, especially for him. And he usually sleeps the whole time. And sometimes he'll snore so loud that you can hear it on the stream, according to my Twitch followers. But yeah, good boy. Okay, so we have. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Vadim.
I just wanted to know: is he a French bulldog? What breed is that?
He's a pug, actually.
Oh, he's a pug. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. The difference is the French bulldogs have like pointy ears usually.
Okay.
But same like flat face though. He
Love
likes
it.
to smile, although he looks a little bit grumpy. But he's a very happy boy, I promise.
I love his little. You could see his little teethers. So cute.
Yeah, he has a bit of an underbite, so
Love it.
he always looks like he's smiling, or grumpy. Like it depends on like the picture, but half of the pictures he looks really happy, like he's grinning, and the other half he just looks like incredibly irritated and he's like huffing and puffing. But he overall is a very happy-go-lucky guy.
Good.
So this is Kai's dog. So it looked like she died, but I promise she's okay. Okay, that's good. So she laid down like this.
Oh.
Very, very adorable. Very adorable. I'll try. See, my problem with this segment is I don't move quick enough to get to all of them. So I'll try to not stay too long. Look at that face.
I
love this.
I love it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So let's see. Boba Fett, Rogue, and Squirtle. A+ names.
Squirtle.
Can I get? I can barely see the guy on the bottom.
Let's see.
That's
there we go.
Oh yeah.
That's a handsome cat.
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah. Beautiful.
I'm glad we
Beautiful.
zoomed in.
Yeah, I also want to see what the okay. Chun-Li. I was gonna say
Cool-
which
cool
anime.
apartment.
Yeah. I dig the aesthetic. Good taste. Good taste in pets. Thank you, Sasha, for sharing. We have Ziggy here. This looks like a Boston
Ziggy.
Terrier.
Oh, nice.
No, it's too cute.
Got those bulging Peter Lorre eyes.
You could tell that like Ziggy just had the zoomies, and he's like getting a little bit goofy, posing for pictures. Love it, love it. We have
Oh, fancy.
Oh.
a little bougie
Aw.
doggy. I mean, how incredible is that?
It's really cute.
Those eyes, those eyes.
She's probably like, get this thing off of me.
Like, what are you doing? I wonder what goes through their little minds. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Very sophisticated.
So this is Pinga. Can you translate her name? I don't think I can. But she is
she's
beautiful.
really cute.
Do you know what that is, Vadim or Lauren?
I was just gonna look it up.
Chat.
Pinga.
Chat, do your research. What does that mean?
Pinga. What? I just okay.
Is it bad?
No, I mean I don't know. Oh yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm breaking terms of service by saying this. It's in Spanish. It means dick. It means yeah.
Euler. That's clever. That's really clever.
All right,
Oh, because it's a wiener dog.
Oh, okay. Hey,
Okay.
It's very.
That actually is
shrewd of
pretty
you,
clever.
Lauren. Yeah.
Thank
That's
you.
pretty clever.
I appreciate that person.
Sunny is gonna watch the whole stream with me. That's awesome. Hello, Sunny. Look at that
Oh.
face. Somebody's just like, you're chilling. That's like a whole ass mood right there. I love it, Sunny.
I
Keep
love
it up.
it's almost like he has bell bottoms with
That's me.
shaved.
Yeah.
It's like
I love that. I love that. You can tell that Sunny got a summer cut, of course.
Yeah.
We have Queenie again. What a great picture.
Thank you.
Just like hanging out on the mantle.
I would have
Yes.
submitted a picture if I knew that this was a thing.
You just got to watch for the next opportunity.
It's very I'm very bad at like keeping a schedule. It's just like, oh, somebody reminded me. Sure, we'll do this. But of course you can watch. Do you still have the catalog of all the old Creationist Cat videos on your channel?
I do.
There you go.
am thinking of possibly. Well, I guess we don't have to have that talk. I'm thinking of possibly unlisting them because just I don't know. I love them, but and with the exception of like the last few years, it's just because it doesn't totally fit the aesthetic that I have now. The early stuff, but anyway.
Yeah.
No reason to talk about that now.
Well, either way, whatever you do is always like incredible. I think
Thank
did I pull up? Oh no, I didn't. I think I had it last week. I had your Elon Musk video up. But I forgot to plug it, unfortunately. I was going to say, hey, it was the first episode of Dystopian Times, which is when it was uploaded. I'm like, hey, guys, look at this new video. But I totally forgot about it because we went over too long.
Well, thanks for
the intent was there.
Exactly. Yeah, if you guys are interested, I don't know if I said this before, but if I said it before, forgive me. If you are wondering where to start on my channel, I have a recent video called Elon SNL dissecting the Muskaganda, I think is the title, and it uses the episode, the dumpster fire of anti-comedy that was his Saturday Night Live performance as a springboard to talk about what a dishonest toilet of a human he is. So and it's fun, it's funny. If you've enjoyed me on here, you'll love it. And if you really were annoyed by me and hated me, you'll also love it. So check it out.
And I've got to say, editing goals. That's your channel for me. Like I love the editing.
Thank you.
We have Khaleesi, Ghost, and Josie here, all just adorable babies. I'll try to go faster. I'm sorry, folks.
Those are so cute. Oh my god.
I know. I could look at a picture for like 35 minutes on here, so I'm trying to like get through all of them.
Khaleesi's a great name for anything. I mean, I know it's Game of Thrones, but yeah, good.
I think it is a good name. Yeah, it sounds cool.
It is a good name. It's a good name until they ruined her.
I know. I have a soft spot for pugs. This is a teddy bear. This is not a dog. This is a teddy bear. Adorable.
I want to scratch that belly. It's really where I am mentally right now.
Yes. Shadow and Kirby are very sleepy cats. Look at that. Perfect. We have
that looks exactly like my kitty Kira. Kira looks exactly like that. Has the same, almost the same shadings.
Let's see. I have a pug hugs. Are you a pug owner? Pug owners have to form like some sort of a political coalition. I don't know.
One day, maybe.
We will rise up before the gamers. So we have I like the goofier pictures where they're eating grass or something.
Oh,
love it.
Is it cross-eyed? I love cross-eyed animals.
I believe that's a Siamese. A lot of Siamese have a cross-eye thing going on.
I love
them. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they do. It's just a typical weird trait that they have.
I would give that cat whatever it needs, whatever it wants. $500.
I would die for all of these animals.
Yeah.
So we have a couple of photographs here. We have
it's hugging them.
That could be violence that we're seeing, or it could be a hug. You never know.
True.
It's like a Rorschach test.
Yeah. Oh wow.
They look like
these are frisky.
That looks
they're bopping each other in the face.
I love the motion blur. Seeing cats bop each other is the most funny thing in the world. Oh, that's a good boy or girl. Oh, look at that pose. We have a model over here. Beautiful.
Oh,
absolutely
my goodness.
Beautiful. Folks, your pets are they're literally perfect.
They do not disappoint.
I love the animals that just hang out in your armpits too.
Yes. Oh my God.
Boy.
Is this your cat?
What are you doing to your cat?
I'll move on. This one is a little bit scary. I'm sure that
Satan worshiper.
Been through some shit. Seen some shit. Just
you don't want to know what he's been through.
He's got stories.
Yeah, light bulb. We're gonna need some more context for this.
I love that cat.
Oh my God. Look at that. Oh my God. See, I feel better already. Like we were just talking about the apocalypse and I already forgot.
Yeah, right?
Whoa, can you go back real quick? His ears are so... are his ears really that long? Look, it goes right past the seat. Am I crazy? Is that a long ear or what?
No,
Very long ear.
Yeah, I'm blanking on the. Does anyone know the name of this breed? I forgot what it is. I feel like I knew it, but I'm blanking on it.
I mean, those look like bunny ears, like or bigger.
It is a bunny dog.
A bunny. we can
The
go
bunny
with that.
hound.
Crazy.
I would die for that dog too.
Yes, of course, without question. We have sitting on a post here. Love it.
Oh.
Nice.
Wow.
Oh.
Those
I love
eyes.
it. Yeah. Oh, not a beagle, a basset hound. Okay. Chat came through. Thank you.
Never realized that basset hounds had ears that strangely long.
So I was
love
wrong.
it.
I would have said beagle actually, but basset hound. Okay.
I know I would not do this, but my desire is to just pet the ears because I think they would be very soft.
Oh, you know it. You know it.
This one's a gamer.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. I'm
Gaming
sure that
kitty.
in the middle of the night that this guy will like walk on the keyboard and cause the computer to crash. I'm speaking from experience. Not crash, like my cat didn't crash my computer, but I have a Mac, and so you know the sound that it makes, it's like no, like it woke me up, no, because she's just sitting on the keyboard.
Oh.
And we have a beautiful bed. No, German
Sleepy
Shepherd.
German Shepherd. Schäferhund.
Little goofy tongue there.
Very cute.
And a kitty. Very pretty. Very pretty. Gamer cat.
He looks like he's up to no good.
Yeah, I feel like he's like eyeing her and wants to like attack or something. I've been watching these TikToks of cats where they'll like, there's this trend where it's like, hey, kiss your cat on the head and see what it does. And like half of them bite their owner. And I'm like, my cat would never do that to me. My cat does bully me, but not to that extent. Oh, that's really sweet.
That's really cute.
Precious.
Like little bub without his tongue out.
Oh, Lil Bub.
Oh.
Did Little Bub die?
I don't want to know if that's the case, but
Okay. Lil Bub is alive forever.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We're back off the ledge. Off the ledge.
Yeah. This is the palate cleanser. We have to think happy thoughts. I love this picture in a little cat house.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god!
Look great. Oh, look at that face.
That's priceless. I love that.
Amazing.
I love the sloppy tongue. Yes.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, this is so cute. It's like a panda.
I need that dog.
This guy like makes the top 3 for me.
Who owns this dog? I'm going to have your dog.
This is B.
All right. Thank you for the dog.
By the way, folks, yeah, I was gonna say that like there is a possibility that we might kidnap some of your animals, if not all of them.
That is now my dog.
Obi. Oh wow, this kind of looks like my my kitty. Same color. Very cute. Very cute. Really sweet too. You could tell that this is just like a very lovable kitty.
Yeah.
Obi. Thank you, Mark. We have Mott.
Mott looks like he's about to pounce. Yep.
You can see the deviousness.
It's the dilated pupils.
Mm-hmm. A second from the ears going back and like the jump. And we have Gray. Wow, that's a great picture. Wow. Beautiful. Okay, I'll try to go quicker now because there's a lot.
Okay.
And I want to try to get to everyone.
Whoa.
Oh my god. I'll try to go quicker and then I get stuck on.
I thought that was a dog for a second, but that's a cat.
That face is this really who is this? Is this your kitty? This is so funny. Oh, the sleeping pictures are just so precious. Oh, and we have a video.
Oh, he poked the kitty. Oh.
Yeah, there's a couple of videos submissions.
Very wholesome.
Yes, this is all very wholesome. I love it. Larson in a tub. Oh, Larson looks very young. Folks,
I love
this
Larson.
is Loki.
Whoa.
Wow.
That looks like a Loki.
Look at the smile.
Oh, he's got a smile.
A little bit like devious. Like a devious smile, like he just farted or something. And he's waiting for you to notice it. I don't know. That's the vibes I get, but I love it. Puffin.
Puffin.
Finger. Chair. Oh my god. It's like this
chair?
This is his chair. Okay.
Oh,
okay.
I thought his name was Chair.
Yeah, I thought so too. Oh, okay.
That would have been a great name.
Giant pug to me.
Yes.
Just not as smashed of a face. Cosmo's just living his best life.
Every time a dog flips over like that, I must scratch the belly. I must.
It's impossible to not.
That just looks like straight out of a dog food commercial, you know?
Yeah.
Like seriously, it just
yeah, it's
well done photograph.
That is a good action shot. Recent of me and Starbuck.
Starbuck.
Oh, look at that smile. Look at that smile.
Those eyes are amazing.
Yeah. We have a sleepy child. Absolutely
Interesting
precious.
colors.
Yeah. We have somebody that needs their belly rubbed, of course.
Yep.
It's got an interesting never mind. Interesting nipple region.
I was gonna say I wasn't sure if that was a nipple or just like a freckle.
It looks like a galaxy or like a what do you call it when a solar eclipse on his nipple.
Whoa. Maybe the dog really wanted you to see that.
Maybe it's like a tattoo kind of. You show it off and
he's proud. Yeah.
Look at my nipple eclipse.
Oh wow. We have a little one from Lori.
Oh, those
Doesn't
little
want
beans.
Camera shy.
I need to touch the paw pads.
Yeah, those are always great.
A little bit grumpy. Didn't want to take a picture. You can always tell when they're like not really interested in a picture. We have a cat in a box, of course, their natural habitat.
Love it.
We have Smoosh grabbing the arm. Probably gonna get frisky. We have this guy, no name, but beautiful. We have a pug.
Very cute.
Very cute. Oh, very cute.
The eye
I love the
puppies.
eyes. We have a big smile.
Oh, he's a happy guy.
Very, very happy.
Love it.
Okay. So folks, we'll stop here.
Okay.
And then the thread is on Twitter. So reply with your pet pics on twitter.com/humanistreport. There's always like so much more than I anticipate. But thank you all so much for the submissions. We'll get to your pet eventually, folks. Cortez made an appearance again. All right. Well, folks, listen, this has been a phenomenal show. Before we leave, of course, I want to send a huge thank you to Vadim and Lauren, my guests. But of course, please tell us one more time where you're at and what you do. We'll start with Lauren.
Well, you can find me on Twitter at @voteashcraft. Although I'm not really running for anything anymore, but that's my name for eternity because if I change it, I'll lose my blue check. Thank you so much. Anyway, also you can go to my new YouTube, which is Biting Commentary, which I saw some of you have already subscribed to, and you've made my day. Thank you so much. You're so sweet. My last episode, actually, I talked about with my dad, who is an expert in this topic. I talked about the Delta variant and why we need to keep pushing the vaccines. So if you're into that or know somebody who needs some convincing, send them to my latest episode and definitely subscribe. Keep subscribing. And thank you, Mike. And it's so nice to be here with you guys tonight. And I look forward to future conversations.
All right. Thank you so much. Vadim, what have you been up to? Anything you want to plug? Tell the people where you're at if they don't already know.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, first of all, if you contract the name that you see right there, take out the spaces, you can find both my Twitter handle and you can find my YouTube channel, which is really where you want to go. All the cool kids doing it. It's my channel is sort of like, I would say, sort of if Adult Swim created sort of lefty content, it would be a little bit like that. It's a little surreal but fun, educational, and I haven't been uploading as much for. There's actually a video about that on the channel, but I'm about to finish up a sequel to Tim Pool Apocalypse entitled Beanie Bloodbath, which is about Tim Pool. And I've been told this literally from people who are like Tim Pool. When I say Tim Pool aficionados, I mean people who loathe Tim Pool and, just want to see that guy served. But basically, like, I don't think you're going to find any video on the internet that reveals as many things that you probably didn't know about him, that uncover like shady journalistic stuff. And this is Tim Pool we're talking about. So I think that says a lot. Anyway, yeah, that's where you could find me. I hope that wasn't too much of a spiel.
No, not at all.
And yeah, you can find me in those places. And other than that, I don't know if I have much else to say other than that. I have a lot of fun videos that I'm working on simultaneously that should be out in the coming months, and that you should subscribe. And if you don't, I'm not going to say you're a loser because you're watching. You're a fan of Mike's, so like but you could be a little cooler. Subscribing to me makes you just that much cooler. This much cooler. Yeah. Okay. I need to stop talking. I don't.
Well, let me add to that, Vadim. If
yeah.
I will issue a threat. If you all do not subscribe to Lauren and Vadim, don't be surprised if some allegations of you being a Satanist show up sometime in the near future. I'm just saying. It might happen, it might not happen.
You also cannot be in our new club where we wear Hawaiian shirts.
Right. We did form a political faction, or at least like two with the pug one, if we factor that in too. But yeah. Well, folks, thank you so much. It's been an incredible show. Just a reminder, I will not be live next week. I will be off. So Dystopian Times will return like the next week. I don't know what the date is, but it'll be back then. My guests will be Donald J. Trump, Sargon of Akkad, and Nicholas Fuentes. So you're not going to want to miss that, folks. It's going to be really,
Why
really
wasn't
good.
I invited to that one?
All right, folks. I will see you all later. I'll be back and I'll read the chat and the super chat. So thank you all so much. Take care, everyone.
Later.
Thank you.
Well, folks, thank you all so much for watching. Before we go, of course, I want to get to the super chats. Just a reminder, I don't read super chats until after the stream, after the main show. But let me go through and make sure that I didn't miss some of them. I did highlight a couple of them. So we have Edward Cole, who says the loudest advocates for white supremacy are themselves the best evidence against it, but they don't need to be competent to be dangerous in numbers. Yeah, that's a really great point. That's absolutely true. Yeah. We have Planet Tierra, who says, thanks. Had a nice time with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much. We have Celeste with a 99-cent super chat and a hamburger emoji, it looks like. Really appreciate that. MC Dono with a $4.99 super chat saying, sadly, a lot of deluded people believe in stuff like this. When we were talking about anti-vaxxers, I believe, i.e. natural selection over population and other eco-fascist crap. Mr. Izzy Dizzy with a $2 super chat says, review Bo Burnham special, the most brilliant ? I actually haven't seen it yet. I am excited to watch it because I actually am a big fan of Bo Burnham. I just, for whatever reason, haven't made time to watch this one, but I do plan to see it because I think he's super talented. Let's see here. MC Dano with another super chat, $1.99, saying, social media / internet broke the brains of boomers. Unfortunately, I think that's true. What do you mean with the $2 super chat? You should see how vaccines are going in Australia. Oh, I don't know that I can see any more stuff that's going to make me depressed. Inez Williamson with a $5 super chat. No message there, so hopefully I didn't miss it. Now let me get to... Oh, okay. I saw this comment, and I thought that you said you couldn't hear me. I was wondering if I was muted. Can't wait to hear what I think. Okay. So it's a tearjerker. I didn't expect that. Okay. Thank you so much for the birthday wishes, everyone. I really appreciate that. Mr. Anderson says, watch Bo Burnham already. Okay, yeah. Vacation week. I have no excuse. Okay. I will try to commit to watching that because I do want to see it. Bo is like the one comedian that always gets me to like seriously laugh. So yeah, by the way, thank you so much to our mods. We have Mr. Anderson says in the chat, or that's your Twitch handle, but Mr. Anderson, we have Tara, always providing us with the links. Thank you all so much. You all are just incredible. Grumpy Cat, thank you so much. I will enjoy my time off. Again, I might like make a couple of videos because it's not like a real vacation. It's a staycation where I just like don't work. But yeah, we'll see. Okay. Lots of recommendations for the Bo Burnham special. All right, I will have to check that out, folks. I mean, I already was planning to, but now you kind of have given me that extra motivation, everyone. So, folks, I will do the last call. If there's any questions or comments that you want to send in before I bounce, please do so now. And of course, if you want more of me and my annoying voice, I am live every single Thursday at 7 p.m. PST at twitch.tv/Humanist Report. We are this close from surpassing 3,000 or hitting 3,000 subs or follows, I should say, on Twitch. So, little milestone. We'll hit 3,000 follows on Twitch. About the same time, we hit 300 episodes on the Humanist Report, which is huge. Disco says, thanks, Mike. Great episode. Thank you so much. Hope you have a great birthday week. I really appreciate that. Again, huge shout out to the moderators. Incredible people, brilliant people. You all are just incredible. Tara, thank you so much with the links. Always there to assist us. Thank you so much. Well, folks, this has been a blast. At this point, I feel like I'm just rambling. So I will go ahead and end the stream right there. Take care, everyone. I will see you all back on Dystopian Times in 2 weeks.